Hey everyone, it is Nadine from Nadine Walks, and I am finally back with another video. So it has been a long time since I've sat here in this room and recorded a video. If you've been following along on this channel, you will have seen that I just kind of finished up sharing the daily videos from my walk in Norway this summer. And I posted the last one several weeks ago, and I kind of thought it would be a nice time to just come on here and say hello. So this is probably just going to be a short video, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, just to give me a chance to come back and say hi and maybe give you a little update. So I haven't posted a video in several weeks, and part of the reason for that, I've been wanting to be pretty consistent about posting and recording videos for this channel. Since I finished posting my kind of daily videos from the walk in Norway, I wanted to follow up with some resources and a video about all the things you need to know to plan a walk in Norway and on the St. Olavsleden. And so that kind of video, I'm kind of envisioning it as everything you need to know to walk St. Olavsleden. Because of that, it's a lot of work to put together a video like that. I'm certainly not going to cover everything, but I've been taking notes and I have pages and pages full of things I want to include in that video. So that is a work in progress, but I do think it's something I'm really looking forward to putting together, because as I shared that walk in Norway, I had so many of you reach out and ask questions and say, this one is kind of now on my list. I might be interested in walking this. So I do want to provide some videos and extra resources to help you plan if you think you're going to want to walk in Norway. So just so you know, that video is coming. It's what I've been working on behind the scenes. And that being said, if you have any very specific questions about the Gudbrandsdalsleden or walking one of St. Olav's ways in Norway, please put it in the comments below. I'm going to really cover a lot of the bigger categories, but if you have some specific questions, I'd love to know what they are. If I can't cover it all in one video, I will absolutely consider doing future videos or maybe just a question and answer video. But to just kind of know the things you're interested in wanting to know more about or learn about, it'll be really helpful for me when kind of putting that video together. But otherwise, in terms of me and what I've been up to, I had a wonderful summer. I'm back home now. I work in a school and the school year is well underway. And so I feel like I'm kind of finally back into my routines. This is kind of typical for me. I go away and I walk all summer, and then I come home and I like being home. I really do. And I like a lot about my life here, but it is always an adjustment coming off of the summer and then coming back into that kind of day-to-day world where I go to work and I'm inside all day and I don't have as much time in my day to maybe do and pursue some of the things that I really love and get a chance to in the summer. But I'm back, I have adjusted, and now I'm kind of shifting my focus to next year in 2025 and dreaming and planning about the walks that I'll be doing next year. So I think that's kind of the other thing I wanted to cover in this video. Just kind of talk about a few of my ideas, what some of my thoughts might be. I have nothing planned yet, but I am hoping to walk somewhere over my spring break. I'll have about a week to walk then. And then in the summer as well, I have a lot more time and I'd like to do another long distance walk. This past year, in the summer I was in Norway, and in the spring I was in Peru and I did this Alcante trek to Machu Picchu. And I didn't really get on a Camino last year. That's not totally true, actually. After Norway, I popped on down to Portugal and I walked some of the Camino Portugues, the coastal route. And I did take some video from that, and I didn't share them here on this channel. I might consider sharing little bits and pieces. I might actually just share that over on Patreon. Since I already have a whole series on the Camino Portugues, I didn't necessarily want to repeat that, but I did have a really nice time in Portugal, and so I might share a little bit of some of the walk. But for the most part, I wasn't on a Camino. So when I'm looking ahead to next year, I am considering, getting back on a Camino route because I love the Camino. I am always wanting to walk a Camino. And I also really am trying to consider this channel and knowing that a lot of you are here for Camino content or maybe planning your own Caminos, and you might like seeing some of that or seeing that more maybe than other walks in other places in the world. And I guess on that note, another thing I would love for you to give me some feedback on and share this in the comments. Is there anything you'd like to really see on this channel? So in my kind of off season, when I am not on a long walk and putting together videos from those walks, I do try to share a lot of information and different resources, question and answer videos. So certainly if you have any topics you'd love for me to touch on, anything related to the Camino, or maybe just kind of long distance walking in general, I can try to focus on that. But also in terms of where I go next year, I would love to hear if there's any Camino, any route, any spots or countries that you would love to know more about or see me walking in. Now, I know that there are some YouTubers who will pull their audience and whatever gets the most votes, that's where they're going to go. I'm not going to do that because ultimately I always kind of have to decide on what feels best for me, and given a number of factors, what's going to work. But I would love to have a little feedback on what you think might be missing from the channel, or if you're just curious to learn more about a certain area or a certain route. You know, I started this YouTube, I think in the winter of 2021, and I started with some video I had taken from my Camino Aragones and the Camino del Norte, and those are walks I had done in 2019. But the 5 years before that, starting in 2014 when I walked my first Camino, you know, I had walked every summer and I hadn't been recording any video, and so I don't have any footage or videos from all of those walks. And I have done some walking in England, and I did Hadrian's Wall and the Pennine Way. I also walked the West Highland Way in Scotland. And unfortunately, I just don't have videos or information about that for this channel. And it's also been a while since I've walked those routes. So that's kind of one thing I'm considering, not necessarily to repeat any of those walks, but I've been looking at England, and there's still some walks I'd really like to do. The coast to coast has been on my list for a long time. I'm also looking at Ireland. There are a couple walks there that I think could be really fun. So that's one of my considerations for next year. And then another walk that I did that isn't shared on this channel is a good chunk of the Chemin du Puy in France. And so that is the most popular Camino route in France. And I have long been considering going back to France and doing more of a Camino there. I haven't finished the Chemin du Puy yet, and that's a route that I would love to rewalk that first part again. There's also the Chemin d'Arles, which is along the south of France. So those are also some considerations. You know, I may end up back in Spain because I love Spain. I might end up in another country altogether. I think having been to Peru and Norway last year really had me kind of just loving the experience of being somewhere new and in different countries and exploring different areas and cultures. And I think I certainly have the desire to not only return to places I know and love, but also to go somewhere new as well. So those are just a couple of my thoughts. If you have any feedback or ideas, please put those in the comments as well. And then otherwise, yeah, I'm here. I have still been walking, just doing all my local walks. I have been doing a lot with my local Camino chapter. So that's American Pilgrims on the Camino. They have local chapters all across the country, and I do a lot with my Philadelphia chapter. We've been going on some great hikes together. And speaking of that, I've got to give a shout out to Scott for this wonderful t-shirt, which I think is amazing. Scott's a member of my local Camino chapter. And there are just so many great people and pilgrims in that group. It's always fun to go on a walk with you. And I would encourage anyone, I know I've said this before, but anyone out there, especially in the States, if you are planning a Camino, if you're missing the Camino, and you haven't looked into whether there's a local chapter of American Pilgrims on the Camino near you, I would definitely look into it because it is a great organization and you'll meet a lot of wonderful people. So I think that's pretty much the update for now. Oh, and I want to, as I'm just thinking about, you know, people and thanking them for supporting me, I want to thank all of you for just following along, especially on my recent walk in Norway. I was only able to respond to some comments on all those videos I put out, and especially the last video. I just got so many wonderful and lovely comments, and I know I haven't replied to them, but I want you to know that I read every single one and they all mean so much to me. I guess an extra big thank you to all my patrons. So I do have a Patreon where in the summer I tried to share some extra updates and a few little videos along the way. I am hoping to share more on Patreon, especially in the off season. So for those who are one of my patrons, kind of keep your eye out for stuff there. But in general, just thank you so much for that extra support. But really, thank you all for being here. I know I just took several weeks off and I haven't been posting, but my hope is to get back to some more regular content here, hopefully getting a video out every week or so. All right, well, I hope you are all well. Here in the States, we've got Thanksgiving coming up, and just know that I'm grateful for all of you and hope you're happy, and wherever you are, that you are off on a walk or planning a long walk somewhere. All right, I will be back with more soon. Buen camino.